Hey everyone, it's the Showgirls. We're back for episode 46. It's October 9th, and it's Carly.
And Darion.
We missed ya. Here we go.
Yes, and I was just reminded that we had like 2 mess ups last week where our internet stopped working or something. And I just feel like my internet is not on its A game today already. So I really hope that does not happen.
We'll just try to hurry before it dies.
Yes, exactly. So tell everyone about your journey to health.
I am still on my journey, Chloe Ting on YouTube, and then I'm doing my shakes every day, and things are going good. Last Saturday, I did have a skip day because I just wanted to, so I'm like a little bit behind, but like as long as I continue, if it's more than 28 days, like I'm still gonna do the workouts. I just like, it was a Saturday and I was really busy.
Hey, I don't usually like do anything health or wellness related like Saturday or Sunday. So honestly, good for you for only doing it or skipping it one day. Also, I don't know if people watch on YouTube, but if you do, Chester is in the bottom of my screen. You can see her. She's really on the defense right now because our other cat is in here and they do not get along, but the other cat is hiding from the Roomba. So that's what's going on behind me.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Also, I wanted to give a shout out. So I go to Orange Theory, and there's this couple, this husband and wife, that work out at the same time as me on certain days. They don't go the same days as me, but we go like 3 days a week together. And their names are Debbie and Bruce. And I followed Debbie on Instagram. And then she followed me on Instagram. And she told me she listened to last week's podcast. And she said that we were really good and she really liked it.
Hi, Debbie.
Yes, they are going to Atlanta tomorrow, so maybe she'll listen to this episode on her flight or something. Or maybe they're driving. I don't know. But just had to give a shout out.
Hey guys. Hey all of the listeners that have been here since the get, and we appreciate. And the new listeners. We like you too.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone that gives us a listen because, I mean, I would still do this if we had like 1 listener.
No listeners.
Yeah, it's just fun. And like, especially because we don't work together anymore, this like makes us set aside time to just talk about celebrities and TV, which we love.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, anything else, or are we just diving in?
There's a lot of what's the haps.
Yeah, there is. I'll start because I wrote this one down. So I watched Glow on Netflix. I don't think you ever watched it, right?
Nope, I didn't.
Okay, it was really cute, like 30-minute show. It's called Glow, but it stands for Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. It's like based on, I guess, this wrestling team in the 80s or something. Well, they were 3 weeks into filming season 4, and I've watched all the seasons when COVID hit. And so they finally made the decision this week to just cancel filming altogether, and they're not releasing season 4, and I'm just really sad.
So sad.
Yes, and I love, I don't know if you know who she is, but, oh, you watched Mad Men, so you know who Allison Brie is?
Yeah, and I like her, like she's married to, what's his name, Dave Franco. Yeah, she's cute.
And she was the star of the show, so I'm just really sad about that.
And her and Dave love cats. Did you know that?
I didn't.
I watched an interview with her, and I think she said that they went to Italy just because there was like all these cats walking around, and that's the only reason that they like went there.
That's hilarious though. Relatable. Me convincing Connor to go anywhere on vacation. There's cats.
Yes. Okay. I saw this because you said it, but Tyra Banks confirms there's a Coyote Ugly reboot in the works.
Yes. So I guess she was on the Kelly Clarkson show, which by the way, I've never watched, but she has like really good. People. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't watch.
I watch it sometimes, like I'll watch stuff on Facebook from it.
Gotcha. So I guess Tyra was a guest host, and she said that, like, I'm supposed to be having a call right now discussing a Coyote Ugly reboot, but I decided to come on your show instead. And so she said that it's very beginning talks, like it is happening. They just don't know if it's going to be like a sequel or a series.
Exciting.
I know. It makes me want to watch that movie. I remember watching that movie when I was like little, when I probably should not have been watching.
The first time I saw it was like on E, you know, like they have movies that we love. And I was like, what is this? And it was really good.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's like such a like girl power, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I love
Totally.
it. Okay, I wrote, this next one is for you too, that I also saw this morning. I get a lot of my stories from the Skim. Are you subscribed?
Yes.
Do you read it?
I skim.
You literally do what it says. How dare. I read like everything. So Whoopi Goldberg said that they're thinking about doing a Sister Act 3.
It's so good. If you have not seen Sister Act 1 or 2, you're missing out, including Darion, because I know she hasn't watched.
You assigned it for me as
Years
homework.
ago, a year ago, okay? But anyways, I'm excited for that. Sister Act 3, let's go.
Yeah, and I guess it's in the very preliminary talks on that one, like even sooner than like the Coyote Ugly, like they don't even know, but she said it's like very beginning talks.
Well, I saw right before we got on the call, my sister actually sent to me that Borat 2 has been confirmed and it's coming out October 23rd on Amazon Prime.
Connor loves Borat.
So October 23rd, mark your calendars to go watch Borat 2. I think that they did it because it's an election year and they want to like poke fun at politics. So that's what it's about.
I know where I'll be the 23rd with Connor watching that, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
There is some baby news, which like, oh my gosh, they're like quarantine baby news or COVID baby news is just really coming out swinging. And Meghan Trainor confirmed she is pregnant with her boyfriend. And you wrote down his name. What is that?
They're married. They got
married.
His name from Spy Kids was Junie.
I couldn't remember. So they just said they're pregnant. So I think it's still very soon. Don't know a due date or anything like that. And then, surprise, surprise, Mindy Kaling, who you guys know who Mindy Kaling is. She's on the Mindy Show, or the Mindy Project, and she was on The Office. And she's like a really good writer. So she's more famous for writing comedy than actually starring in comedy. Well, she had a baby, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago, never told anyone who the father was, which no big deal at all, but we don't know if maybe she did like in vitro or something. And then all of a sudden, 2 days ago, she, I think, was on one of the late night shows. I can't remember which one of the Jimmys. And she said she had a baby boy on September 3rd. So it's her second child.
That's really cool.
I know. And nobody knew. So it's like, it's amazing to me when celebrities can hide stuff, but also it's probably easy in quarantine times.
Yeah, and maybe she had a surrogate and she wasn't even pregnant.
I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of babies.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you want to talk about the Megan Thee Stallion thing?
Yes, I know you guys have been dying to hear about this. Just kidding. You heard it here first that Megan Thee Stallion was shot, and I told you guys, by Tory Lanez in the foot. And it wasn't really like super publicized, and I was surprised. Well, it came out today that he's finally been charged with shooting her and that it came after a disagreement. But it's so odd because he shot her in the foot. So I wish I knew logistically, but I'm guessing he obviously didn't want to kill her, but hurt her. I don't know the logistics of it, but he's been charged.
Thank you for that update. My dog is barking.
Oh, hi, Emily. Carly muted herself because she's barking. So I'll go on. Okay. Oh, dang. But the next stories are ones that I don't know about. So Carly wrote the 3 next stories. And I do know that Hannah and Tyler from The Bachelor and Bachelorette, or from The Bachelorette, who we love, Hannah Brown, Tyler Cameron, they came out with a YouTube video called What Really Happened. Whenever Carly is unmuted, she will have to tell you guys what it is. But I guess the gist of it, because I did read an article, is they confirmed that they were never dating or together.
Okay, correct. Well, kind of, because they were in quarantine together right after Tyler's mom had passed away, and they pretty much confirmed. My dog, I've gotta go. Hold on.
Okay, you guys, I'll just skip these What's the Hap stories while Carly is doing that, because I wanted to tell you guys what I watched. Oh, just kidding. She's back.
You guys, we knew something was going to go wrong today.
If it's not the internet, it's the dog or the cats.
Okay. So they confirmed that they came together in a really hard time for both of them. Hannah mentioned that her brother overdosed, and I don't think I knew that.
I didn't know that.
And it was like right around the time of quarantine starting, so like February, March
So
timeframe.
overdosed as in like he passed away.
No, like he like overdosed and like had to go to rehab.
Okay, gotcha.
So she was like dealing with that, and Tyler was like, hey, we're about to quarantine, I'm back in Florida, do you want to just like hang out? Because like Hannah went to Tyler's mom's funeral in like December,
Yeah.
and they like enjoyed each other's company there, but nothing happened romantically. It was just like more of like he was leaning on her because she was a support system for him, and she knew his mom. So they even talked about like in quarantine that they slept in the same bed for 18 days and did not kiss.
Wow. Okay.
Shook.
Me too. I'm just confused because did they say, and maybe I'll go back and watch it now, like why don't they date? Like why? I don't get it.
I can tell that Tyler feels pressure because Hannah said, yeah, like Hannah said that she just wanted to talk things out with him. And they even like kind of were going back and forth on the video. Like, she's like, all I wanted to do was talk, and he would just ignore me. And he was like, well, I just feel like you wanted to talk about serious stuff and I didn't want to. And she was like, no, I just literally wanted to talk about like what football or like what you ate
She
for
wanted
breakfast.
a friend.
Yeah. And like he doesn't, I think he felt pressure, one, from like all of the fans, because like we ship them so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't know, like he's not ready to settle down. He's Tyler Cameron. He can do whatever he wants. He's a model, okay, in New York. So I think he just like wanted a friend, and she wanted to like kind of see where things could go, like obviously. Yeah. And they just like couldn't come to agreement about that.
And it's kind of like Tyler was ready for love when he was on The Bachelorette. He literally made it so far, but then when it didn't work out, it was like almost like a sign, like, okay, like I'm just going to go live my life. Now more people know who I am. I have more opportunities. Like I don't need to be tied down and start a family yet. Okay, I'm following.
But you can tell that they care for one another, whether that's going to be just a friendship for however long and it turns into something, or they go on their separate ways and but aren't together.
Gotcha. Okay, I still might watch. I don't know.
It was a good, that both of them have, looks like it, they've started YouTube video or YouTube channels. So they're going to start releasing more content. And I think this was like a little bit clickbait for her channel because a lot of people were going to watch it and now they can subscribe to her channel.
Gotcha. And that, I feel like that's like a natural progression with Bachelor, Bachelorette people. I always see their suggested videos on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. Morgan Wallen. This is some drama tea that was going on this week, and it just all came to a head like Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. So I'm on TikTok and I see Morgan Wallen on my For You page, like doing concerts, like doing like,
and let me back up just a second. He's a country singer.
Yeah. And he's like probably like since like 2018, he's been releasing songs, but now he's like getting really popular.
Okay.
Because he's releasing like lots of really good songs.
Okay.
And he's cute. And he like, you know, he's good.
Yeah.
So I guess he played a show in Alabama last weekend. And I had no idea that he was playing shows. And I thought this was like videos from years, past. Like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, why would you be in Alabama playing shows with like tons of people, like tons of, and these girls in these videos are like exposing him so hard, and it's crazy. Like
on his TikTok,
on their TikToks, and they're like tagging Morgan Wallen, and it was coming up on my For You page, and I was like, this is really weird. Why is there so many? Because he played the show, did like after party at some girl's apartment, like people jam-packed into her bedroom, and he's like playing guitar on her bed, and there's probably 30 or 40 people in there.
Oh my God.
No masks, no nothing. And then there's another video that he's like in either a limo or like an SUV, and he is sitting there with like tons of girls, and he's making out with one of the girls over another girl.
Oh my God, he's like wilding out.
Yes. And like, he's 27, he's not tying down. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, he was planning on, this is where it all came to a head that I didn't know about.
Okay.
He got asked to be on SNL on Saturday, so tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so all of this stuff came out, it exposed him, and he is putting everybody else in danger from traveling to New York, getting to New York. If he would have gotten on SNL, he wouldn't have been in a bubble like he agreed to, probably.
Yeah.
And they told him he couldn't come.
Honestly, I just am on. I need to watch the videos because now I'm really intrigued. I didn't realize like how like hardcore they were. I want to go watch them, but also I agree with SNL because like, let's say even if he was doing all that stuff, like, let's not document it, and like also let's not put other people in danger. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems.
And you could tell he was drunk. Like, you could tell he was not,
Yeah.
You act crazy when you're after a show and you're drunk and with all these girls. Like, okay. But not right before SNL, one of the biggest things in your career.
I was going to say he probably feels like shit because that is SNL are people's big breaks sometimes,
Yep.
Like I literally didn't really know who he was until you said this story, but I watch SNL.
Yep. So they said he, it's not like he's fired and never could go back. Like they just have to like figure out a time for him to reschedule.
Yeah, and they plan like all their
maybe
seasons at once, so he probably won't be into another year.
Yeah, and he pretty much put out an Instagram video that said, he's going to focus on things that are important to him and like really realign where he wants to go and
Yeah.
His PR people were like, get your crap together.
I wonder if the TikToks are still there. Are they taken down?
Oh, I'm sure. Or like you could Google it. Like just look up Morgan Wallen TikToks or Morgan Wallen Alabama. And I know I saw more than two. I know it.
Oh,
like I was like, why do I keep seeing all these freaking Morgan Wallen TikToks?
Oh my God. I'm definitely gonna look it up. That's crazy.
Some good stuff. And then quickly, Katharine McPhee and David Foster have announced, or TMZ announced, that they're having a baby. I don't think Katharine McPhee has announced she's having a baby, but they have been photographed and she has a baby bump, or it looks like a baby bump.
And how old is David Foster?
Probably like almost 70.
And how old is Katharine McPhee?
In her 30s, I think.
Oh, okay. I still haven't watched the David Foster documentary.
Oh, so good.
I know. Honestly, I should have watched it this weekend because I want to tell you guys everything I freaking watched this weekend, which was a lot. Is it on the sheet? Yes.
Yes, scroll down.
Okay, you guys. So that was our last What's the Haps video. But this past weekend, we had no plans and I consumed so much TV. Like, if I had to put a time on it, I feel like I watch TV like 12 hours a day. So like, I feel like I watched like 24 hours of TV.
Sweet.
Yes. So I watched two things on HBO Max. It was An American Pickle and Class Action Park. An American Pickle is Seth Rogen's new movie for HBO Max. And it's really funny. It's just like he plays himself like a character and he plays another character. So I like movies like that. And it's a cute, funny one. And it's about family. So I would definitely recommend it. And then me and Connor watched that with me too. We watched this documentary called Class Action Park. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, it's about this amusement park in New Jersey in like the 70s and 80s, and it was called Action Park, but it was so like, all I can say is like ratchet and not put together that they started calling it Class Action Park because it was getting sued so much. And like documented minimum 5 people died. Like the rides were just so unsafe and crazy, and there was this water slide that has like a loop in it, but they don't have engineers build them. Like the owner just like thinks of them, and then they just like throw test dummies down there until it like one comes out not like broken to pieces. And it was pretty good. It got a little boring, I'd say, but it was cool because I had never heard of that story before. And yeah, it closed down, I think like the late 80s or something. Then did you finish Schitt's Creek?
No, I don't have internet yet, so I know.
Why
I'm just
not?
waiting.
That's crazy. That is crazy. So Connor and I finished Schitt's Creek. It was so sad in a good way. Like I cried. There's a really funny part. I hope that you think it's funny too, about a happy ending. And it's just so funny to me. I really hope you laugh. But Connor said he wasn't really that into the final season. And I was like, how dare you?
He just doesn't understand.
Yeah, he doesn't like shows the way we watch shows where it's like, I'm invested.
Mm-hmm.
But he likes TV. And then I texted you and I said, okay, do I start Desperate Housewives, or do I watch this documentary about this murder on Netflix? And you had just talked to your friend about it, the murder doc, and you told me to watch it.
Like while you were texting me, she was explaining it. She was like, have you watched this on Netflix? And I said, no, tell me about it. She's like, this guy in Denver murdered his wife and children.
Yes,
and finally confessed to it.
Yes, it was crazy. You probably don't need to watch it, obviously, because that's really the ending. But if you kept up with the story when it came out in 2018, I already knew he had killed them because, you know, he's been sentenced. But this dives into like their relationship. Like it actually shows text messages from his wife and stuff like that. And you guys, it was just crazy. Like I don't want to spoiler alert it, how he did it. But if you guys kept up with it, you know that the husband did it. And I really recommend it. It was kind of made me like a little sick, you know, when you like,
yeah,
you just feel sick to your stomach. So I didn't like that, but it was just such a crazy story. And I just feel so bad for the families. But just seeing the logistics of it was insane. So I recommend watching it.
On TikTok, on my For You page, somebody went to their house in Denver and it's still empty. And they went around the backyard and there's like still all the girls' toys and stuff back there. And then they have like tons of people left stuff on the porch, like in memory of the family. And it's still there. Like they looked inside the house, there's no blinds or anything, and everything's empty. It's creepy.
That is so sad. There's weird logistical things I think about that. Like in the show, they seized the dog because they were like trying to gather evidence, and like the husband was arrested and the family wasn't there. And I'm like, what happened to the dog? Like, and stuff like that. Like, why are the girls' toys still there? Like, who's in charge of that?
I don't know. It's sad.
It's really sad. So I recommend watching it, unless you guys obviously don't like sad stuff, but it was just crazy.
Okay. You want to talk about the social dilemma before we dive into shows?
Yes, shout out to Debbie. I hope you're listening. She told me that we have to talk about this, and you had actually already watched it. I just hadn't yet. So I finished it today.
Okay.
My question for you is, so Debbie told me once she watched it, she immediately turned off all of her notifications. Have you?
I haven't, but I am more mindful now because I can tell when my phone wants me to look at it. It sends me the most random notification. It's like News 9, Facebook something, or like Time Hop, or something really like new posts on Marketplace. And I'm like, what the heck?
Yes, dude. So basically, you guys need to watch it. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary about social media and the bad side of social media and how advertising works. Obviously, you and I are from advertising backgrounds, so I knew I don't want to say most of it because it wasn't most of it, but I knew most of the ad side. Like I knew they knew everything about me because there's my notification right there. I knew they knew everything about me because I have my phone. And like if Jeannie or, you know, our old employees are working, we knew that part. I think like the shocking part, well, one, now I understand why nothing is in chronological order anymore, because that used to be the biggest complaint, right? We want it back in chronological order. Now I understand why, because they don't want me to see stuff that I don't pay attention
Engage
to.
with, yeah.
Engage, that's correct. The main guy, I would call him the main guy, Tristan Harris, is
so
like
cute.
And he wants the world to be a better place.
He was like, let's just be ethical. Like, okay, Google, let's just get it all together now, and then we won't have to change anything later. And they're like, yeah, good idea. And then it just dies. And I was like, what? How can like 30 people in the world think, like, let's just say 30 people make decisions for millions and millions and millions?
I think he even said billions. Like,
yeah.
30 people are like, okay,
this is how Google's going to work, and this is how Facebook's going to work. And it was just so telling because all of these people are no longer at these companies.
Yeah.
And they are exposing them so hard because they see how bad it could get.
Yes. And if there's someone listening that obviously isn't going to, why do I keep always saying obviously? That isn't going to watch it. So basically, our phone, our apps want us to look at them all the time, engage with them all the time. So if we haven't been on our phones in a while, there's an algorithm that will trigger our phone to send us basically a useless notification, but that will like trigger us to then go into the app. So I was thinking about Postmates because I haven't used Postmates in a really long time. Like we just live so close to everything. I've just been picking it up. And I've noticed lately they've been sending me the dumbest notifications straight to the face of my phone. And I'm like, what the hell? Like it'll be like, want to eat today? Order Postmates or something. I'm like, yes, I want to eat today. And so I don't know. It was just really telling. And one thing they said, like, there were a lot of people on the show. Oh, and it made me feel so many smart people. Like, I was like, I have to break into the tech space, but I literally have no idea how. And there was a guy that had dreadlocks that were horrible. He should have shaved them off. He had not. Like, they weren't on his head.
He was the one that wrote the book.
And he was smart. He said one way to help. So they were saying, how do we help this? One way is to turn off all your notifications, unless it's something that's like your email or something. Maybe you really need to know that or something like that. And he said another way to combat the advertising, the algorithm that's like learning everything about you is don't click on your YouTube suggested videos. Go and search them later.
Suggested.
No, you need to make note in your brain and then later go and search it.
Okay. And the whole point of us looking at our phones is to monetize and to sell advertising. That's all that this comes back to, is for them to make money.
Literally point blank make money. And there's a really good part, the end of it, that's about like politics. What the hell? That's about politics and things like that, and like Pizzagate, how that got started, and it's just really eye-opening. So I recommend it, and I might go through my notifications today and see what's up.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Are we going to TV?
Yeah.
I love a TV recap. Okay. Big Brother.
I was wondering if you were gonna do it. I was waiting to see if you would do it. Okay. I don't have much to say because I'm upset. A whole week of shows happened. Cody won HOH. He nominated Tyler and Christmas because last week during the triple, they tried to flip the vote, which I really thought they were going to accomplish it.
While we were watching it, Darion sent me a tweet, and it was like the perfect like culmination of the triple eviction, and it was said, Enzo, you bitch.
Literally. Also, though, I can't hate Enzo because I think he's doing so well.
He's making the right moves, and he knows it.
Yes. And you guys, I sent Kroy this funny tweet too, or like picture, and it said how to talk game like Enzo. Just keep telling everyone this is crazy, yo, and they
wear your sunglasses
and just say broad statements that could like apply to anything, like this house is mad, yo. It's just so funny. So Tyler and Christmas are on the block. Cody wins veto, and basically they're gunning for Tyler, but he needs to throw some Hail Marys, so he does try.
Oh yeah, and he pretty much knew he was going home, but he had to try.
Yeah, he was Hail Marying it. I just don't like Christmas at all. I really don't think she's a good player. She's like I don't know. I haven't liked her from the beginning.
Yeah, and she doesn't. The thing to win Big Brother is to have final twos with everybody, like Cody does.
Yes.
He has a final two with Enzo, has a final two with Memphis and Nicole. Mm-hmm. And he had final twos with other people that aren't there anymore.
Literally.
So he's like protecting himself from all sides. And then you have to be likable, and you can't make too many moves to make yourself an enemy of somebody.
Yes, you like have hit it nail on the head, because then, so Tyler goes home. But in his exit interview, Julie, actually, I don't think it was Julie. I think Cody outs all of his final twos in the exit video they show Tyler. And Julie was like, "What are your final thoughts?" And he was like, "Dang, like seems like a lot of people are double dipping everywhere." And he was like, "That's what I did my last season, but I didn't want to do it this season." And Julie was like, "Well, your last season you made it to a final two." So it's like that's the trick, but then it's hard because you walk that fine line of if I make too many deals, someone's going to find out about someone's going to talk, right?
Yeah, but it's the final two deals are how you keep it a secret because you're not like in a 3 or 4 or 5 kind of deal and you don't have to keep all those other people updated. You just have to worry about you and the other person. So like
So true.
Cody doesn't have to worry about like what Nicole's doing with this person. He just has to worry about him and Nicole.
That's
and
true.
him and Enzo and him and what's his face?
Memphis.
Yeah. Ugh. So you wrote Nicole won HOH.
Yes, so that happened on the live feeds last night. I don't know what the challenge was or anything. I just read up on it and she won HOH, which I'm shocked.
Me too. She hasn't won anything.
Yeah, and so who's she going to put up? Christmas in Memphis?
Yeah, because Memphis put her on the block, and then Christmas she hates.
Yeah.
And I think that neither of the unless Memphis wins the veto, the noms will probably stay the same.
I agree.
They'll probably vote out Memphis because he's more of a competitor to me.
I agree. And like they've been saying in their interviews all season and stuff, like they know that he's that sketchy person. Like they know that he's been doing
slick,
stuff, but they've been slick. And so I agree. So it's kind of is getting better because they're at the part where nobody's safe. So I like that.
I think the final two will probably end up being Cody and Enzo or Cody and Nicole.
I'm thinking Cody and Enzo. And then I think I would vote for Enzo to win all of the money. But the thing is, so you hear Cody talking about in his interviews, he's like, I'm building my report card because a lot of people to the jury or jury members, it matters like how many comps did they win? Are they truly an all-star, you know?
Yeah. I think if it's Cody at the end, a lot of people will vote for him. Just based on like what Danny was saying, like he's such a good competitor. He does win a lot of comps. And that's how you win Big Brother is to keep yourself safe every week.
Yeah, he literally has not been on the block at all, which I think a lot of people haven't been on the block this season. But I mean, he hasn't even been close to it. No one's talked about him.
Yep.
Who would you pick, Enzo or Cody, to win?
I mean, I think Enzo has a really good social game, but he's kind of riding on Cody's coattails.
That's true. Like he needs to, it's the time, like obviously he didn't win HOH, but he needs to step it up and start winning some stuff.
Yeah. Then I think he could win it all, but I think Cody's probably going to win it all.
You're probably right. I would probably vote for Enzo, but I think Cody's going to win.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to sing? Don't be
tardy for the party. Whoa, whoa. Don't be tardy for the party. Whoa, whoa.
Good job.
I love a song.
Yes, I texted Carly and I did something so dumb, you guys, because I'm trying to watch Don't Be Tardy from the beginning. In season 2 on the Bravo app, for some reason, the first episode of season 2 would not work. I could not get it to work on any device. So then I go to YouTube and I'm like, oh, I can buy the episode for like $2.99. I'll just do, or $1.99. I'll just do that. So I buy it. Then I'm dumb and I accidentally bought the wrong episode. So I had to buy it again. So I spent like $4.
If something ever happens and we're in a apocalyptic scenario, you will have season 1, episode 1.
Are you talking about like if for some reason we only have TV that we bought?
Yeah.
Hey, I like it. Whatever. Okay, so this is the premiere. I forgot we haven't talked about it at all.
Yeah, they premiered 2 episodes in one night, so we got a whole hour. Normally they're just 30 minutes, so we got good stuff.
Yes, I love it. This was season 8, and so like I said, I have started watching from the beginning, but I'm watching this simultaneously, and I love it. I don't know why it took me so long to watch it. It was worth the hype that you told me. The family is just so likable. Like, I even like them when they're being ridiculous. So this season is focused on they're going on a road trip for 5 weeks across the US in an RV with 6 kids, 2 parents, and
A
like
chef and a nanny and a whole crew and a box truck full of Kim's clothes.
that was the part that was like the one that I was like, even when they're being ridiculous. So who is driving the Ryder truck behind them?
Like they have to have, I'm sure they probably have like 4 or 5 crew vehicles behind them.
Yeah, and I'm like, so obviously Kroy and Kim don't pay for like production stuff, but I'm like, oh my God, they're paying for hotels for like the nanny, the chef, the box truck driver. Like the money flaunting is just so outrageous. I love it, but I'm like, they're being ridiculous.
Yeah, she's like, we're going to be gone for 40 days, so you guys need to at least bring 35 outfits.
I was like, bro, you're not like, and at KOAs and stuff, they have stuff where you can do laundry, and that's a nice, oh, I wrote this down. It's not a like RV, you guys, it's literally a tour bus.
Yeah, like for people that go on tour, there is enough room for all of them to sleep, and they can cook in there, but they haven't yet. Like
Yeah.
they've cooked at the campground and then they pick up food.
Yes. And I don't know, it's just so ridiculous. You were talking about the casino part, you loved it.
Okay, they're driving to Ohio from Tennessee, and in Kentucky they have casinos. And so Kim's like, Kroy, please, please, please stop at the casino, just for 15 minutes. And then it like has the time clock and it's like 13 minutes left, and Brielle's like, there might be cute boys in there. And so she like comes, and Kim's like, you're slowing me down. And she literally goes in there for 15 minutes and she loses $400
in 15 minutes, you guys. I don't even know how that was possible.
And Kroy's like, oh man, come on, let's go. And I'm like, how is he so amazing? Like, one, he like sweats all day and gets everything in the box truck, gets everything together for all of the little kids, for everybody, for Kim in her robe, in her slippers, drinking her wine in the kitchen, doing nothing. And he doesn't even care.
Dude, he's like the most happy person I've ever met. Like, he's always smiling. Like, okay, when we sit here like normal, like this is my normal face. When he sits like normal, it's like this.
And then he'll be like, how's it going, my love? I'm like, oh my God.
Yes, he loves her so much. Like, I hope that Connor loves me as much as Kroy loves Kim and people see it. Like, probably they don't. But the way he loves her is so cute, and it like makes my heart want to explode.
And it makes me so sad. Like, you'll get into his family and stuff like in the seasons past, like that they don't like Kim because she has kids from a previous relationship. Like, it's so dumb, the reason that they don't like her. And he just was like, okay, well, I love her, and that's what's happening.
Wondering because like where I'm at right now, they're fine with them, you know, like they're not in the show right now, but they're fine. And then I know like season 8 opening, they talked about, we don't talk to either of our parents, but right now, if you want to know what's happening, so it's Thanksgiving, and she was like, I think I'm going to call my dad or talk to Poppy. Like, he is so level-headed. Like, maybe he can explain what's going on with my mom trying to sell stories. And then before she even contacts him, it comes out, and he freaking talked shit about her to a tabloid, and I just want to punch him.
So sad. Very sad.
But definitely highly recommend Don't Be Tardy. It's on Bravo on Sundays, Fridays, Thursdays.
I kind of want to say it was on Monday night.
Okay. Well, Google it if you guys don't know, but really good. I loved both episodes. Oh, I wrote, is Brielle vaping? Did you catch that?
I did not notice that.
Okay. It might have been, it was like she was about to get on the van or the bus and she was holding something like this, but
like
I don't
Dorinda
know if
does.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's what it was. So keep your eye out.
Okay, I will. Anybody who is waiting on the Keeping Up with Their Kardashians recap, I haven't had a chance to watch this week, so I'll recap next week.
Okay, perfect.
Dancing with the Stars, just really quick.
Yes. You or me? You?
I just want to say a couple things.
Okay.
At first, I really wasn't living for Nelly. Like, I liked him. He was fine. I know you loved.
Yeah.
And because I was just like, he's just doing this because he's making money. Like, he doesn't even want to win. He's just on the show.
And getting his name back out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's specifically said, I just needed him to say one thing. I want to win. That's all he said. But I was like, okay, I'll vote for you now because he said it, you know, like he was like, okay, I want to win. I want to work hard enough. Cause I was like, he's just going to like glide through this. He's Nelly, like whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to work hard enough to win. And I was like, okay, I'll vote for you. So I did.
Oh, good. I love him. I loved his performance because it was to all I do is win. And he had to like keep throwing his hands up. And you could tell he was still like stiff. He's not like a dancer like that. But I was so proud of him.
Love him.
Me too. You wrote, it showed that Chrishell is freezing her eggs, which is honestly a little heartbreaking because she really thought her whole life was with Justin Hartley.
Yeah. And like how tough that is while you're dancing.
Yeah.
To be giving yourself shots, going through all these emotions and like hurting physically and then dancing also. So
yeah.
Shout out to Chrishell. My
friend Debbie said she wanted to know if we were going to recap This Is Us when it comes back. You watch that, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted
of course, Deb, we will.
Yes, our number one fan now. Okay, I texted you because you actually hadn't finished the end, and I was like, did you watch Dancing to the End? And you said no. And Tyra Banks, who I love, we just talked about her, about Coyote Ugly, accidentally flubbed the results. So there were like a bunch of people still on the floor, and she was saying who is safe, who can walk off, and there were 3 couples, but one of them that she sent off actually was in the bottom.
Monica and Val. She'd already sent away because I watched it. You said look it up on YouTube, so I watched it. Monica and Val were in the bottom with Ann and Keo, and she'd already sent them away, so she had to bring them back. And the other 2 people that were on the floor were safe. And then she had to ask very, very quickly who the judges wanted to save, and they said they wanted to save Monica and Val. And then the show ended.
Yes, and it was so awkward because what is the girl judge's name? I can't think.
Carrie-Ann and Abba.
Carrie-Ann. You know, I used to think those were 2 different people. Carrie-Ann and Abba. But yeah, it's like it was so awkward, and I felt so bad because she was like leaning over the judges stand, like pointing who was in the bottom or whatever. And I was like, oh, this is so bad. But Tyra said she was just reading her cards. So who was wrong?
And I think she did as best as she could. You know, like, actually, I need Monica and Val out here. You know, what else are you supposed to say? It's live.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't just keep going on and then next week, like, be like, just kidding. You guys suck.
And it would have been okay, like, if they just have one person, like, if it was Ann and Keo.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to have the judges save a team. But, like, if they have the wrong teams in the bottom 2, then they could save the wrong team that wasn't even supposed to be in the bottom 2.
True. And I knew it was going to be Ann anyways because that was her second time in the bottom.
Yeah. I like her and Keo, but you win some, you lose some.
Chester's about to wildin' out. Can you hear her?
Yep. Love Chester. You, Chest.
Do it. Okay, we got it. This is what you've been waiting for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Housewives of Potomac. The aftermath of the fight.
The altercation, as Giselle puts it.
The altercation. So Monique reaches out to Karen and says, I want to get the women together because we obviously need to talk about this, which I think was smart. Karen says, no problem. They invite everyone. Obviously, Karen kind of extends the invitation to Candace, but Candace is like, hell no, like, you freaking psycho. And so all the women come together minus Candace, and Giselle brings a bodyguard.
So petty. I was like, this is Darion, like, coming to somewhere, like, if she could be the most petty person, she will. And so Giselle brings a bodyguard because she said she's dating a pastor and she can't be associated with a fight.
I'm going to let Chester out really fast. Sorry.
Okay. So then it shows, like, Candace, how traumatized she is, and she's going to counseling, and it kind of, like, goes back and forth between Monique talking to the ladies, Candace kind of going through her trauma, going to counseling, goes back and forth. And then Monique addresses the ladies. And all of them, well, Giselle, Robin, and Wendy come into it really hardened, like, she shouldn't have done that. You never put hands on anybody. Ashley came in saying like, you got to forgive people. And Karen was kind of like just open to listening. And Monique mentioned that she did not remember what happened, that she blacked out. And then Bravo goes back and does a flashback of her explaining every single thing to the producer in the car on her way home. So we know that you remembered.
Yeah, and the editing, I texted you this because the editing this season is like chef's kiss, dude, because at the beginning of this episode, it was like showing Candace at home with Chris or something, and like all you can hear is like Karen's like, Monique, let her go over there, and it's just like the editing is just so good.
Yes.
But
And
yeah.
No, you go.
No, I was gonna say Giselle and Wendy, I think Robin was kind of like more on their side. Yes, definitely came in guns a-blazing. I don't know if Ashley's opinion would have been different if she like saw it.
So true.
That's what I'm thinking. But I even texted you this, like Karen was literally, she was up Monique's ass so far, and I just did not like it because I am team Candace on this issue.
I'm team no one. I'm team save the wine on this issue, okay?
Your team, everyone.
Don't even go to the wine tasting, okay? That's where I am, because I think definitely Candace needs to take 3% responsibility. She's acting like she is 5 years old and she's on the playground and nobody is like helping her and she's like flailing in the wind. Like, no, Candace, you're an adult.
Yes, but I just hate it because in the flashbacks of this episode, like, she's apologized already so much this season, which I think this is episode like 12 or something. Like, I can't believe we're already this far. But it shows all of her flashbacks of apologizing, and like Monique never apologizes back to her. And so I feel like Candace would not have done that if she really thought obviously something like that was going to happen. But I
think that it was deeper than anything that she was apologizing for. Like, she was saying like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Oh, I'm sorry it came across that way. Like, no, you're not really apologizing for spreading rumors about Monique's husband and that her baby is not her baby daddy's or her husband's baby.
I
like,
wish if that was the case, they would bring it up. I don't know if maybe it's like a cease and desist type of thing.
Now I think that there's legal things involved. I don't know that they can.
Yeah.
But that's what I've heard from like interviews with the Housewives, that it was deeper than little things. It was more like Candace spreading rumors or Monique thinking that she did. Whether Candace did or not, that was from what Monique was coming from.
Yeah.
Definitely Monique is totally in the wrong. Like, she lied about not remembering. She actually put hands on her. She did not let her go. She kept hitting her in the head and did not let go of her wig.
And tried to go back after her. And I loved that Wendy called that out. And Monique was like, oh, yeah, I remember. Like, ooh.
So you're going back and forth, lying. And I messaged you. The one thing that she said that was the most honest was like, I'm still processing my feelings. If that's all that she could have said sitting there, like, they wouldn't have said anything to her. But that's the only thing that she said that was real. She lied about like sending it to the blogs, like leaking the story. And she tweeted, what was,
I don't remember what she tweeted. Do you have it on there?
Ask and you shall receive.
I feel like I feel like it was too soon for her to have them all come together, because she had to know that Giselle and Wendy, like, we know how Giselle is, maybe not Wendy, we're gonna go in on her. So I feel like even if it was like a week later, maybe even take some more time until you have your thoughts, because these women come out swinging. Like, this is not a group that tiptoes around anything.
Yep.
So I'm glad we got the TV moments, obviously, but I almost wish she didn't do it. And I loved Robin, dude, when she straight up, and Robin's been kind of boring this season, not gonna lie, but it looks like it gets better. And she said, you really had me, Monique. And I was like, damn. She called her a liar, basically. But
because she was lying.
Yeah, she was. And so I don't know. It was a good episode. And what's funny is it was a good episode. And at the end, I was like, wow, I watched 45 minutes of them sitting in the same room.
crazy.
Right?
Yeah, we just needed the drama and the editing. And it came out, or I guess it teased next week, a fight between Chris and Michael in a bar, which is kind of crazy. The girls go on a trip, and there's lots left this season. And then I listened to an interview. I think it might have been the Bravo Daily Dish podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They talked with Monique and Candace separately, like now. And I guess Monique said that she, a couple weeks later, reached out to Candace and apologized to her after she like kind of went through all of her thoughts. And the next day she got papers for the lawsuit in the mail.
Dang. I hope we see that, because on one of the teasers, I don't know if it was this one or if it was like the first episode teaser thing, but Candace's mom tells her to press charges. So I wonder if we're going to see that unfold.
I bet we will.
And it teases Robin has IRS problems. Girl, what? Just pay your taxes.
Yikes.
I know. I love that show. I love it. I don't know. I just don't have anything else to say, but I love it. And honestly, I'm so glad you introduced me, because I didn't watch any shows on Bravo before I met you.
Oh, we know. Okay.
Shut up. Okay.
They're so good.
The last show we have to mention, honorable mention, is 90 Day Fiancé, because part 2 and 3 of the tell-all came out. But in my opinion, there wasn't really any new info. They were just hashing out old stuff. And even you wrote down, like, Tanya and Sinjin just talked about having kids and how she doesn't think he's an alcoholic, but she thinks he drinks too much.
She kind of does. And then he doesn't want kids and doesn't see himself having kids, and she does. So like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, dude, that was, I love, but they should not have gotten married.
And his roommates tried to tell him, you know,
they literally called her out on national TV. They were like, you moved in the day after you slept with him. I was like, shit.
Yeah, I love his roommates. They're so funny.
I know. And then Angela and Michael, this was the only new thing I found out. So Sean, I think that's her name, Sean Robinson, the host, said, Angela, like, where are you and Michael right now? Like, what's new, blah, blah. And basically they're still living apart. They're trying to apply for K-1 visa status and stuff. And Angela is getting weight loss surgery.
Or she has already, you know, in real time, she may have already gotten it, or she said she was planning on it in the next couple of weeks when they film the reunion. So she may have already gotten it, and she wants to lose like over 100 pounds.
Yeah. And I saw this on one of the groups that we're in. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week. She was seen in LA with the same lady who manages Honey Boo Boo's mom, Mama June.
Scared. No.
I said, what kind of niche, like, manager do you have to be to literally do Mama June and then Angela?
And then Mama June, like, goes off the deep end and goes to rehab. Like, hope Angela's okay.
Literally. So that was interesting. And then Asuelu and Kalani, we saw a bunch about them. But basically, he stormed off, blocked her number, blocks her on Instagram, blocks her on Facebook, but then comes home at the end of the night.
How does that even work? Like, how do you live in the same house and don't even talk?
They're another couple, like, they just don't need to be together. And I don't know if it's like a cultural thing or what, but they just don't need to be together.
Agreed.
But okay, anything else?
Real Housewives of Orange County comes out soon.
Wednesday.
This month. A lot of other shows are happening. Some other shows are ending, like 90 Day Fiancé is over. So we'll be adding some more into our rotation.
Yeah, and I just remembered, isn't this Tuesday The Bachelorette?
I think so.
Wow, you guys. So we're going to have a lot more stuff to talk to you about, which is like, we just spent an hour talking, so physically how? But we got you covered on all things. But yeah, I think that's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Go follow us at the Showgirls Podcast on Instagram, Biggie Tiffany on Instagram, Carly Corwin on Instagram, and watch our shows on YouTube if you don't already. We're also anywhere you can find podcasts. So listen to each of our shows. If you haven't listened to the earlier ones, they're pretty good and some are really funny.
Yes. Oh, and we never plug this, but rate, review, and subscribe if you guys like the episodes. I don't even know how to check subscribers, but I'll look into it. Subscribe. But okay, talk to you guys in a week.
See you later.
Bye.